They won't tell you this, but these truths can set you free. If you want real happiness, you have to stop living in illusions. Life is not what you think it is. It's harsher, colder, and far more unpredictable. But that's not a bad thing, it's an opportunity. If you're brave enough to stay until the end, the last truth will completely change how you see the world. These are not sweet lies, these are raw, unfiltered truths. They might hurt at first, but they will set you free forever. Let's begin. Life is hard. That's the first thing most people refuse to accept. From the moment you were born, the world never promised you anything. It never promised fairness, happiness, or success. Yet people live like the world owes them something. That's why so many are bitter and angry. But here's the harsh reality. The world doesn't owe you, it never did. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you can stop waiting and start living. The first harsh truth you must accept: life is not fair and it never will be. You can hope, you can pray, but the truth remains the same. Some people are born rich, while others are born in poverty. Some people win the genetic lottery, others are born into sickness. Some people start ahead of the race, while you might start 10 steps behind. Does that make you a victim? No, it makes you human, because life was never designed to be fair. Life is designed to test you, to shape you, to force you to adapt, and that's where most people get it wrong. They believe that happiness is tied to fairness, that the world must give them what they deserve before they can feel at peace. But if you wait for life to be fair, you will wait forever. Fairness does not exist in nature. Lions eat zebras, storms destroy homes, earthquakes level cities. Nature doesn't care about your feelings. Life is the same. So why do we expect the world to treat us equally when even nature doesn't? You can waste your life screaming at the unfairness, scrolling social media wondering why others have more than you. Or you can take control of the only thing you truly own. Happiness does not come from fairness. It comes from adaptability. The people who thrive in life are not those who complain the loudest. They are those who learn how to play the game with the cards they were given. If you were born poor, learn resourcefulness. If you lack connections, master resilience. Because life doesn't reward those who cry, it rewards those who create. Let's be brutally honest. Life is a game, and it's not a fair one, but games are meant to be played. Some players start with better cards, but that doesn't guarantee victory. You've seen it before, people who had every advantage, and yet they lost everything. And you've seen others start with nothing, and they built empires. How they stopped complaining, they stopped comparing, they adapted, they learned, they played to win. So here's the question for you. Are you waiting for the world to be fair before you take action? If you are, you'll wait forever. Life is like chess. You don't control the board, but you control your moves. Winners don't play fair, they play smart. They look at the reality of the game and ask, what can I do right now with what I have? That's the mindset that changes everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people. One grows up in a wealthy family with access to the best schools, the best connections, the best opportunities. The other grows up in a small town, broke, working odd jobs just to survive. Who has the advantage? Obviously, the first person. But here's the twist. The wealthy person becomes lazy, entitled, expecting life to hand them everything. The poor person becomes hungry, resourceful, relentless. 10 years later, the one who had nothing has built a business, while the one who had everything is drowning in debt. How? Because life is not about where you start. It's about how you play the game. Now, let's make it personal. What's your disadvantage? Maybe you didn't have the best education. Maybe you don't have support from your family. Maybe you've been hurt, betrayed, abandoned. Guess what? That's your story. And that story can either be your excuse or your fuel. The difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck is this. One group says, it's not fair, so why try? The other says, it's not fair, but I will rise anyway. Which group will you choose? Fairness is a myth. What's real is effort. What's real is persistence. What's real is the fire inside you that refuses to die, even when everything is against you. Stop thinking that fairness equals happiness. It doesn't. Look around. Some of the happiest people have the least, and some of the most miserable people have everything money can buy. Fairness is an illusion. What matters is, what will you do with what you have? Will you waste your time wishing for equality, or will you build your life despite inequality? Remember this, your disadvantages can be your greatest strength. You choose to see them that way. So from now on, every time you feel like life is unfair, remind yourself, good, let it be unfair. That means I get to show what I'm made of. That means I get to prove everyone wrong, because comfort never built greatness. Struggle did, and the people who learn to love the struggle, to embrace the challenge, are the ones who win. That's the truth no one wants to admit, but it's the truth that will set you free. The second harsh truth you must accept: you can't control everything. People spend so much of their life trying to control what they cannot control. They want to control what people think about them. They want to control every outcome, every detail, every twist in life's path. They live like if they just plan hard enough, nothing bad will ever happen. But here's the truth that will set you free. Control is an illusion. Think about it. You can't control the weather. You can't control the economy. You can't control whether your friend betrays you, whether a stranger crashes into your car, whether a storm wipes out your plans. You can't even control whether your heart will keep beating in the next 5 minutes. And yet, most people live like control is possible. They believe that if they try hard enough, they can bend reality to their will. But what happens when reality doesn't cooperate? They break, they shatter, because they built their happiness on an illusion. This is why anxiety is so high today. People are obsessed with certainty. They need guarantees. They need promises. They want to know what's coming next. But life doesn't give guarantees. Life gives you chaos. Life gives you unpredictability. And if you can't handle that, you will suffer. The truth is, you can only control 3 things: your thoughts, your actions, and your effort. Everything else, people's opinions, external events, the behavior of others, is out of your hands. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control whether they like you, whether they approve of you, whether they choose to stay in your life. And the harder you try to control others, the more miserable you become. Why? Because people are not puppets. And life is not a script you get to write. So why waste your life obsessing over what you can't change? Why give your peace away to things outside your power? Do you want to know the secret to peace? It's not control, it's surrender. Not the weak kind of surrender, but the strong kind. The kind where you say, I will give my best, and I will let go of the rest. That's power, that's freedom. Asterisk, stop trying to predict every twist in the road. Stop trying to script every outcome. Live, adapt, respond, because the truth is, you don't need certainty to move forward, you only need courage. Focus on what you can control. Your habits, your mindset, your effort. Everything else is noise. Let me give you a real story. There was a man who lost his job during a recession. He had planned his life perfectly, saved for retirement, bought a home, built a career. He thought he was secure. But one economic crash wiped out everything. For a while he was angry, bitter. Why me? He asked. He wanted to control what had already happened. But then, something shifted. He realized he couldn't control the economy. He couldn't control the past, but he could control what he did next. So he started a small online business. At first it was hard, but over time, it grew. Today, he's happier than ever, not because life suddenly became predictable, but because he stopped trying to control the uncontrollable and focused on what he could control, his actions. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. When you stop fighting reality, you stop suffering. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You can't control the storm, but you can learn to dance in the rain. Peace comes when you accept what is and work with it instead of against it. Asterisk, now for the third harsh truth. Most people don't care about your problems, and honestly they shouldn't. This one stings, but it's true. You can post your struggles on social media, you can cry to your friends, you can complain about how hard life is, but the reality is, most people are too busy dealing with their own problems to care about yours. And you know what? That's okay. It's not their job to save you, it's yours. This truth is liberating if you understand it, because it means you stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You stop expecting the world to notice your pain and fix it. No one is coming, and that's not bad news, it's good news. Because if no one is coming, that means it's up to you. And when it's up to you, you take your power back. Self-pity feels good for a moment, but it poisons your life in the long run. It makes you weak. It makes you passive. You start to believe you're a victim of life instead of the author of your story. Stop telling yourself that someone owes you help, that someone owes you understanding, that someone owes you happiness. They don't. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start building the life you want. Here's a fact. The more you complain, the less people want to be around you. Why? Because everyone has their own struggles. Everyone is carrying a weight. Some are just better at hiding it than others. So instead of adding your weight to theirs, lighten your own load, find solutions, take action, show resilience. Because strong people attract strong people. Let me give you a challenge for the next 30 days. Stop telling anyone about your problems unless they can help solve them. No venting, no complaining, no fishing for pity. Use that energy to act. At the end of those 30 days, you'll feel more powerful than ever because you'll realize you never needed saving. You just needed to save yourself. Here's a question for you. Do you want sympathy or do you want results? Because you can't have both. Sympathy keeps you stuck. Results set you free. Stop choosing pity and start choosing progress. That's how you take control of your life. The fourth harsh truth you must accept. Happiness requires discomfort. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn because it goes against everything you've been taught. From childhood, we're told to avoid pain, avoid struggle, avoid anything uncomfortable. And yet, every single person who has achieved something extraordinary has one thing in common. They chose discomfort over comfort. They chose discipline over laziness. They chose growth over ease. If you think happiness comes from avoiding discomfort, you've been lied to. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it kills your potential. It robs you of the satisfaction that only comes from overcoming something hard. Think about your proudest moments in life. Were they easy? Of course not. They were hard. They stretched you. They forced you to grow. That's why they felt so good, because you earned them. We live in a world addicted to convenience, one-click shopping, instant food, entertainment on demand, and yet, people are more depressed than ever. Why? Because when everything is easy, life feels empty. You were not built for comfort. You were built for challenge. You were built to climb mountains, to fight battles, to overcome storms. Discomfort is the price of growth, and growth is the path to happiness. Here's a brutal fact. If you want an easy life now, you will have a hard life later. If you want a hard life now, you will have an easy life later. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Which pain do you choose? Because make no mistake, you will experience pain either way. You can choose the pain that makes you stronger or the pain that breaks you. Let me give you an example. Think of an athlete training for the Olympics. Do you think they love waking up at 4 a.m., pushing their body to the limit, sacrificing comfort day after day? No, it hurts. It's exhausting, but they endure it because they know something you don't. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Discomfort is the door to everything you want. So, here's the question. Where are you choosing comfort over growth? Where are you avoiding discomfort because it's easier? Maybe it's that business you keep delaying, that conversation you're afraid to have, that habit you refuse to break. What would happen if, instead of running from discomfort, you embraced it? If you saw discomfort not as a threat but as a sign you're on the right path. Action step. Do something hard every day. Something that scares you. Something that pushes you. Start small. Take a cold shower. Speak up in a meeting. Run an extra mile. Because every time you choose discomfort, you train your mind to be strong, and strength brings freedom. The fifth harsh truth. You will fail again and again, and that's okay. In fact, it's necessary. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the foundation of success. Every failure is a lesson. Every failure is a step closer to mastery. But most people don't see it that way. They see failure as the end. They see it as proof that they're not good enough. And because of that, they quit. Here's the reality. If you want to do anything meaningful in life, you will fail. You will embarrass yourself. You will make mistakes. And that's not a sign you should stop. That's a sign you're on the right path. Because The only people who never fail are the ones who never try. Think of the greatest innovators in history. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. 1,000 failures. Most people would have quit after 10. But Edison didn't see failure as defeat. He saw it as data. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is why you have light today. Or consider J.K. Rowling before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. She was rejected by 12 publishers 12 times. She was told no. Imagine if she had given up after the first rejection. The world would have missed one of the greatest stories ever told. Failure is not a wall, it's a doorway if you keep walking. So why do people fear failure so much? Because they confuse failing with being a failure. But they're not the same. Failing means you tried something that didn't work. Being a failure means you stopped trying. The moment you quit, the game is over. But if you keep going, every failure becomes fuel. Every mistake becomes a map. Here's the truth. Failure is not fatal. Quitting is. You can recover from failure. You can't recover from giving up on yourself. So the next time you fail, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" Because that question turns pain into progress. Action step. Fail faster. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop overthinking. Take the shot. If you fail, learn, adjust, try again. Because success is not built on perfection. It's built on persistence. One day you'll look back and realize your failures were the best thing that ever happened to you because they shaped you. They strengthened you. They prepared you for the life you were meant to live. Failure is not the enemy. Fear of failure is, and fear is a liar. Don't listen to it. The sixth harsh truth you must accept. Time is your most valuable asset and it's running out. Most people live like they have forever. They waste days, weeks, even years on things that don't matter. Acting like life is a dress rehearsal, but this is not a practice run. This is the show. Every day you spend scrolling endlessly, arguing about nonsense, putting off your dreams, is a day you never get back. And yet, people live as if time will refund them. It's one single quotes T. Think about it. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose possessions and replace them. But every second that passes is gone forever. The problem is, because you can't see the sand in your life's hourglass, you think it's unlimited. But if you knew the exact number of days you had left, how different would you live? Would you waste hours scrolling social media? Would you stay in a job that drains your soul? Would you spend time with people who don't respect you? Of course not. You would live with urgency. You would live with purpose. Here's the truth. Your time is your life. How you spend it is how you live. And most people are spending it like they're billionaires of time when in reality they're broke. So, here's the question. What are you doing with your life's currency? Are you investing it in things that matter, or are you burning it on distractions? One day, you will wake up and realize you don't have as much time as you thought. Maybe it will be after a health scare. Maybe it will be after you lose someone you love. But by then, the clock has already been ticking. The tragedy is that most people only start living when time is almost gone. Don't wait for that moment. Start now. Action step. Audit your time for 1 week. Track how you spend every hour. Then ask yourself, does this reflect the life I want? If not, cut the waste. Cut the noise. Focus on what matters, your health, your relationships, your purpose. Because every minute you waste is a piece of your life you will never get back. The seventh harsh truth. You are going to die, and so is everyone you love. This is the truth no one wants to talk about, but it's the only certainty in life. One day you will take your last breath, and so will your parents, your friends, your partner, everyone you love. Most people live like death is a rumor. They act like tomorrow is guaranteed, but tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Why does this matter? Because when you accept death, you finally start living. When you realize your time is limited, you stop wasting it on petty things. You stop holding grudges. You stop chasing meaningless validation. You start asking what really matters. Imagine you had 1 month to live. What would you do differently? Would you keep scrolling through strangers' lives online? Would you keep saying someday about your dreams? Or would you start today? Because the truth is, you don't know how much time you have left. None of us do. Death is not a distant event. It's a shadow that walks beside you every day. And that's not depressing, it's liberating, because death is the greatest motivator to live fully now. So tell the people you love that you love them. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Take the trip, start the business, write the book, because one day you won't have the chance. Here's a thought. When you die, what will people remember? Will they say he played it safe, he never took risks, he lived for comfort? Or will they say he loved fully, he loved deeply, he left the world better than he found it? That choice is yours, and it starts today. Action step. Write your eulogy not because you're morbid, but because it clarifies what matters. Ask yourself, if I died a year from now, what would I regret not doing? Then do it, because the clock is ticking whether you accept it or not. This is why death is not the enemy. Wasting your life is death is just the reminder that your time is precious. Use it, live it. Don't just exist. The eighth harsh truth. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you think they are. This is the truth that will free you from the prison of fear. Most people live trapped by the opinions of others. They don't chase their dreams because they're afraid of what people will say. They don't speak their truth because they fear judgment. They wear masks, live fake lives, just to fit into a society that isn't even paying attention. Here's the reality. People are not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, just like you're thinking about yourself. That embarrassing. The thing you did last week, you've replayed it 100 times. They forgot it 5 minutes later. Humans are wired for self-preservation. Everyone is the main character in their own story. And you're just a side character in most people's lives, so why do you give so much power to opinions that barely exist? Why do you let imaginary thoughts control your real life? When you realize that nobody cares as much as you think, you become unstoppable. You stop living for approval and start living for purpose. Do you want to know the secret to freedom? It's not more money, it's not more followers, it's not validation, it's this. Stop caring about what people think, not in an arrogant way, but in a liberating way. Because when you stop seeking permission to live, you finally start living. Here's a test. Think of someone you know. What was the last embarrassing thing they did? Can't remember? Exactly, and they probably can't remember yours either. So stop letting fear of judgment kill your dreams. People are too busy worrying about themselves to worry about you. Action. Step: do something this week that scares you because of judgment. Post the video, share the idea, wear what you love, speak your mind, and watch how little people actually care. You'll realize the prison you were in was built by your own mind, and you hold the key. The ninth harsh truth. Success will cost you something. Everyone wants success, but almost no one is willing to pay the price. They want the reward without the sacrifice. They want the body without the workout, the money without the grind, the respect without the effort. But life doesn't work that way. Everything worth having comes with a cost. Do you know why most people fail? Because the cost scares them. They want comfort more than change. They want pleasure more than progress. They want easy more than extraordinary. But you can't have both. You have to choose. Do you want comfort now or success later? Because you can't have both at the same time. Here's the truth. Success is not complicated. It's simple, but it's hard. It requires discipline when you feel lazy. It requires saying no to things that feel good now but cost you later. It requires waking up early, working late, and doing the boring, unglamorous things no one sees. That's the cost, and most people won't pay it. But here's the beautiful part. The cost is temporary. The reward is permanent. The pain of sacrifice lasts a season. The pride of achievement lasts a lifetime. So ask yourself, what price am I willing to pay for the life I want? Because make no mistake, if you're not paying the price for success, you're paying the price for mediocrity. Either way, you pay. The question is, what do you want in return? Let me give you an example. There's a reason why only 1% of people reach the top in any field. It's not luck, it's not talent. It's willingness to do what 99% of people won't do. It's showing up when you're tired. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's sacrificing weekends, comfort, and sometimes even friendships because your dream demands it. Action step: write down your dream. Then write down the price. The real price. The time, the energy, the money, the habits you have to change. Then ask yourself, am I willing to pay it? If the answer is no, stop lying to yourself. If the answer is yes, then start paying today. Because the bill for success is due every day. The 10th harsh truth: no one is coming to save you. This might be the most important truth of all. From childhood we are conditioned to believe that someone will rescue us. We wait for the perfect mentor, the perfect partner, the lucky break. We hope the government will fix things. We hope someone will notice our struggle and pull us out of the darkness. But here's the truth: no one is coming, not because people don't care, but because your life is your responsibility, not theirs. You are the hero you've been waiting for. You are the rescue plan. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner your life will change. Because as long as you believe someone else holds the key to your freedom, you stay stuck, you stay powerless, you stay waiting. And waiting kills dreams. Here's what most people don't realize: every minute you spend waiting for help is a minute you could spend helping yourself. Every day you hope for a miracle is a day you could create one. You don't need someone to save you, you need to save yourself. It doesn't mean you can't ask for support. It means you don't depend on it. It means your progress doesn't depend on permission. Think about the people you admire, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the visionaries. Do you think they waited for someone to come and hand them a perfect life? No, they acted. They moved when no one believed in them. They built when no one offered help. They saved themselves. And that's why the world follows them today. Stop saying, I'll start when someone helps me. I'll change when someone believes in me. I'll try when someone gives me a chance. No, start now. Believe now. Give yourself the chance you're waiting for, because if you don't, you'll be waiting forever. Action step: write this down. No one is coming, it's up to me. Read it every morning. Let it burn into your mind. Then take one bold action every day toward your goals. Not tomorrow, today, because the clock is ticking and no one is coming to press pause. Closing message: you just learned 10 harsh truths about life. They're uncomfortable, they're hard to swallow, but they're real. And if you accept them, they will set you free. They will give you strength. They will give you clarity. Most people will never face these truths. They'll live in denial. They'll choose comfort over growth. And they'll pay the price, but not you. You're here. You're still listening. That means you're ready. Now ask yourself, which of these truths hit you the hardest? Which one will you start living today? Drop it in the comments, because writing it down makes it real. And if you want more videos like this, truths that shake you, that wake you, that make you unstoppable, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next video might just change your life. Remember this: life owes you nothing, but life will give you everything if you show up for it. So stop waiting, start acting, because the harshest truth of all: the clock is ticking and the world isn't waiting for you.